Events today jeopardized diplomatic efforts when North Korean armor encountered a so-called self-healing minefield while attempting to withdraw from the area.
North Korean forces were adequately cautioned that self-healing minefields along the DMZ should not be considered cleared obstacles. We're back at the brink of war, and now we find out it is the Japanese?
The Japanese are allies.
I don't care if they're the Christmas elves. They sank the Walsh.
We don't know that their government was involved.
We know Admiral Otomo was involved, and we know where the gentleman is. We have to go in now, immediately.
The fact is, we don't know how far the conspiracy goes. If Otomo's actions are sanctioned by the Japanese government, then the only solution is military. But if he's acting alone...
Your man again?
He's already in position.
Send him in.
The State Department has lost contact with all of the U.S. officers who work at the Kokubo Sosho with the Japanese Self-Defense Force. It looks like the SDF have taken them prisoner, and they're refusing to answer our calls. In typical fashion, the Japanese are circling their wagons. Either they're afraid to admit they've lost control of Otomo, or they're actually sanctioning him. If that's the case, we'll have to come clean with North Korea, which will spark a massive war in Asia. If not, we need to find out what our officers know, and figure out what to do about Otomo before North Korea finds out what's going on.
Sam, even if the Japanese government is not sanctioning him, Otomo still clearly has the capacity to strike. If he's still in control of the information arm of the SDF, you'll need to deal with him very carefully. There's no telling what kind of havoc he could unleash.
Last contact we had with any U.S. personnel in the Kokubo Sosho was a fragment of a phone call from Major Harper, a logistics advisor to GSDF. From the sounds of the call, the room he was in was raided by Japanese troops and he was taken prisoner. It doesn't sound like anyone has been killed, and if there's any hope of maintaining peaceful relations with the Japanese, you're going to have to keep it that way.
What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the final mission for Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. We're going to be going in with the assault loadout. Thank you so much for watching.
I can't
go
stress
time.
this enough. If one Japanese soldier dies, we risk World War III. Any fatalities and I abort the mission immediately.
I understand.
Locate our officers and find out what the hell is going on there.
I'll find them.
So, after the previous mission, which is Bathhouse, this mission is pretty much a cakewalk. There's just a few sections that can kind of confuse you a little bit, but other than that, it really is a way simpler mission to be able to get through nice and stealthy. And you can, of course, do it without knocking anyone out. So first things first, we're going to open the door. There are two different locations you can come through here. There's also a camera there, so what you want to make sure you do is stay away from the camera. So when I pass this little section right here, there's another door right there straight ahead. That is where you can go through to get to the same place we're going to be going here in just a minute. However, there's a faster and better location that you can do here. However, it can be a little trickier because there's one jump that you have to do with a guy who's kind of like mopping the floor. If you don't want to have to worry about that guy, then I definitely recommend going the other direction. However, you have to use more distractions. You have to take out a light. You have to go through the bathroom, and that just causes you to wait a significant amount of time. And if you don't want to have to do that, you want to get in and get out as quickly as possible, then this is going to be your best method for actual infiltration. You can come up here, and there's going to be a little thing that you can jump on, and you're going to be right above the floor that you would come out of where the bathroom is. So this takes off a significant amount of time to get you where you need to go. So once we jump up here, you're going to see there's a guy mopping the floor. There's also a guard on the left side who's turned his back to you. What you want to do is you need to time this right, and you need to wait. It can be a little hard to see, obviously, because Sam's kind of head can get in the way a little bit. So once this guy turns around, you still need to wait a few seconds before you move forward. Make sure you land softly, because you're going to get just when he's not looking, and you can sneak right by him. Otherwise, that might take you a few times, so, you know, try to save right before there, and you should be good to go. Also, to make a note, is I've turned the volume down significantly in the game, unless someone is actually speaking, because my live stream got copyrighted completely, and I want to try to prevent that from happening. It still can get copyrighted, so I can't stress enough, if you want to support the channel, to make sure to either leave a donation in the link below that you see in the description, or become a Patreon or a member, so we can continue to do this. This is pretty much what we do for a living, so it really helps the channel out when those of you that are able to step in and help the channel. With that being said, as you can see, we're pulling up right in front of the two guys that we need to talk to. We came from a different location in our last walkthrough back in 2012, which was actually coming from like a grate behind that area over there. So this is a completely different new method. You don't have to climb the thing on the outside and distract with the lights and stuff. You can come right in here and do what you need to do rather quickly. So we're going to talk to him for a little bit, and then we'll continue on.
Hey, you're American.
Maybe. But I'm not here to rescue you.
That's okay. We're not really hostages anyway.
What's going on?
Not too sure. SDF rounded up all the U.S. personnel and locked us up. We saw some generals and ministers being brought in earlier.
Where did they go?
Into the war room in the sub-level.
The doors to the lower levels are sealed.
A captain was just up here looking for combat-ready volunteers to go down there. Maybe the doors are open now.
Perfect timing. Somebody will come for you later.
Sam, we need to record everything that happens in that meeting so we can present it to the Joint Chiefs.
It would speed things up if you'd let me remove some of the threats.
Forget it, Fisher. Until we know who the enemy is, there is no enemy. No enemy means no kills. Deal with it.
So once Lambert is done talking, we're going to head back the same way we came, except this time we're going to be moving to the left. And we're going to be coming out on this above floor, which is above where we would have come in if we would have went the other way. And we're going to head over the railing. If you do this correctly, you should be able to make it down easily without being spotted. Just make sure that you kind of angle yourself a little to the right so you're not directly in front of that guard right there. You should be able to drop down. You won't make any noise. And we're right in front of the door we need to get into. Here, we're just going to wait until he actually turns around. Once he does, we can head inside. And then we're going to be on that little escalator kind of thing where it's just like rolling downhill. All you want to do is make sure that you stay in the dark places and keep moving up. You can't get on that center section. I tried. It wouldn't let me jump over to it. So just keep going down. Try to stay up in a specific dark location and wait for them to pass. If you do get knocked out, they will interrogate you.
From the looks of it, these guards are LTL equipped.
Less than lethal. Why?
There's only one reason I can think of that they'd issue them to combat troops. They'll want to interrogate anyone they catch.
Well, I'm not the talkative type.
As you can see, the simple matter of just continually walking forward, back up it, and you'll stay right here, and you won't have to worry about those little sections of lights. Wait till they're done talking. Once they're done, the guy's going to start heading up this way, and then you can make your way down. If you want to see what it is to be interrogated, I recommend saving here and then just getting caught. That way you can kind of see what it's like when Sam gets interrogated. He goes through a cinema, and it's pretty cool to escape. But obviously, that's not the method that we're doing. If you want to see that method, you can check it out in the live stream because we showed it off. However, there's no sound for it. So this section can be actually pretty tough. I recommend you save here. And then there's a camera there, so you want to stick to the left. This guy's going to turn around pretty quick, so if you're fast enough, you can come over to here, get against the wall because you're in total darkness. He's going to immediately turn back around and come this way, so as you'll see, there's not enough time to get down the stairs. We tried, unless you moved just slightly earlier when you were coming down the stairs the first time, or that long path of stairs. We're going to go to this corner, so their paths are like this. They're going to come together. This guy... it's either this guy or the other guy is going to come down the stairs. I think it's this guy. He's going to come down here, and he's going to stand there for a few seconds. Once he turns around and starts heading back up the stairs, wait just a second to make sure the other guy is not looking. Then we're going to head over to the eye scanner. Now, normally in Splinter Cell, you would have to knock out one of these, not knock out, but you have to grab one of these guys and use him for the eye scanner. But you don't actually have to here. You can hack it. So because you can hack it, you don't get any chances to make a mistake. So it's very tough, happens very quickly, and you just got to be on the ball to picking this one. Probably the hardest hack in the game. Once we make this corner here, you're going to see the door to the right. That is where you would come out if you were interrogated, so we don't need to go in there. We have another hack that we could do here. This one you get 2 chances. So I missed both of them, so I had to think on my feet here and find the right one. But they're not too difficult to find, and you can do it. I barely made it, though. If you've done it in the timing that I have, that camera will be going past there, and you can go ahead and run in here and grab this. If not, you're going to need to wait till that camera cycles back around. Now it should update and tell you that you need to record the meeting room in the war room. So we're going to go back out where we came and go back up those little stairs. And this time we're going to head to the right of where that guard was. Now, the trick part about this is these two can make it very tough to do what you need to do. So come over here to this corner. Sometimes their animations can get stuck. You're going to be waiting here a little bit. Maybe this is not exactly where the guards are when you play. Remember, if you've done everything to my timing, it's where they're going to be. But if you've been slightly off for any reason, they could be in different locations, and you might be able to go quicker. So this guy's going to be coming around, and that guy's going to be in the opposite direction. They're going to meet. This is what they normally do. However, sometimes they will stick in an animation, and you can see that on my live stream, and they'll just stay there, not move. If that happens to you, don't fret. Just OCP the light that is in front of them, and then you should be good to go. The one that's up there, right there, or the camera. Just OCP that camera right there, and then you're good to go. Otherwise, you're going to wait till him to come by, and you're going to follow him as closely as you can. Immediately when you enter the door, head to the right, because the other guard will see you if you try to go forward.
Fisher, GPS shows you're nearing the war room. Intelligence says it's a Tempest-hardened cube. The only way you'll be able to record what's going on in there is to find some way inside.
Tempest hardening might keep out electronic intruders, but I'm betting the room isn't airtight.
Probably not.
You need to take this camera out. It's looking right where you're going. This is a very tricky part to get out of. The camera also doesn't last very long as far as being OCP'd, so you need to get up here rather quick. And then head through the grate, and we have a long, like, kind of little information exposition that we need to do.
Sam, I've got some details on the building's infrastructure. This vent should come out directly over the war room.
I'll try and laser mic the meeting from there.
Good. We'll let you know when we have enough to make the Joint Chiefs happy.
We cannot, but if he has control, political suicide. We have already taken the Americans.
Hello.
Sir, he is Admiral Otomo.
Admiral, what is the meaning of this?
You will repeal the post-war constitution. You will order the immediate demilitarization of Japan.
Who?
And return control of our nation.
That's
to the
why I'm
order
worried.
of the Emperor. The United States will support this act politically and militarily. To release
Nothing
themselves
here
from
but
further
ghosts
financial
and
military
shadows.
obligations, thereby concluding our relationship in Asia.
This is impossible. Even if we repeal the Constitution, the Emperor would never.
The Emperor will do what the military tells him. I am not an unreasonable man. These efforts will take time. I have faith in your honor and prudence. So I give you 96 hours.
96. The people will never allow it.
If in 4 days these demands are not met, I will initiate the launch of a North Korean ballistic missile and sacrifice a Japanese city over my choosing. Regrettably, this will kill millions, but it will steer the will of the people if your appeals cannot. For the sake of your honor, and for the sake of Japan, I plead with you, do not force my hand in this matter.
That's it. He caught the signal.
My God.
Good God, Fisher. That confirms it. Otomo has been manipulating the Japanese government the entire time.
At least they're not sanctioning his actions. What's the next step? How do we stop Otomo?
If we're lucky, we might not have to.
What do you mean?
Grim?
I'm worried about that general, Fisher. He's been awfully quiet working on his laptop. Access it from here. Let's see what he's planning.
Will do.
What are our options? Can we retake the command center?
Affirmative. Put Ronan in position. Waiting for the word.
Have another choice.
Ronan, you are go. I repeat, you are go. Affirmative. Open it. Code's been changed. Attack it fast. Come on, open the door. Just about. Got it. Back up. Hurricane clear. Go.
52. Watch your fire in there, Ronan. Affirmative. Form up. Keep it tight. Watch your angle. Ronin! Ronin! Come in, Ronin! Oh, come in! Ronin! The Admiral again, sir.
Admiral, we...
Fool! You waste your time to scream like a dog. If you are unable to act honorably, then I will force you to act. You will not be able to deny the demands of the people after North Korea destroys one of our cities. You will know which one when it is annihilated.
My God. We are doomed. We cannot do that. We cannot tell the Americans. It cannot fail. He has lost his mind.
Good Lord! Otomo is going to launch a North Korean missile at his own country.
What's the time frame?
Could be hours, could be minutes. Get down there and destroy his servers.
What about extraction?
If you can't take out those servers before Otomo forces a launch, there won't be any reason to extract.
And if I do take out the servers?
We'll make that part up as we go.
That's half a plan if I've ever heard one.
Once you're exiting here, you're going to want to... This is a very tricky shot. As you'll see, I'll miss one time, but then we'll get on the second one. Make sure you save right before this point because it can be very frustrating. This is the only way you're going to be able to do this if you do not want to be perceived. If you don't mind being slightly seen, then you can drop down that area to the right of when you... or to the left of when you exit. He'll not see you, he'll hear something, but you're still 100% good to go. Just get out of there and move on and then continue this way. However, you can OCP this light from there. It's very tricky to get, and it will take you a few times. And then we can exit towards the elevator, and then we'll take it down and then head on into the new section. Again, you want to get up against a wall, though, because you never know where these guys are going to be. It just so happens that they're pointing in that direction, so we're good to go. Into the elevator, make it go all the way down to the very bottom floor.
I just got off the horn with the Joint Chiefs. I'm lifting the non-lethal mission parameter. Fifth freedom with everyone except Otomo.
You're kidding me.
We need to capture him alive. His profile is pretty clear. He won't lie to a war crimes tribunal in the face of the evidence. It would offend his sense of honor.
You need him to take responsibility so the rest of Japan is off the hook with North Korea.
Exactly. If Otomo dies, we're right back at square one. Bring him in breathing.
All right, so we have our new objective. What's going to happen here is the elevator is going to stop, and then you need to go through the little grating in the floor and just kind of head down and keep going. Sam will automatically kind of attach to the ledges whenever he drops past them. You don't need to press any buttons. It does it pretty much automatically, and then from that point, follow what I do while... you're heading into the next section. The next parts are pretty easy, especially not to be seen. They're not as difficult as you might originally think.
Fisher, North Korea just contacted NORAD and the President. They report that they've lost control of a launch facility. They can't abort, and they're not sure that they can destroy the missile on time.
How long?
They say 3 minutes until it's away.
I think I can reach the server in time.
Hurry up!
Here, all you're going to want to do is you're on a time period, but you've got plenty of time. Just stay behind here until they get set. Notice how there is a lot of remote explosives right here. So what you want to do is equip your pistol. That way you can move the fastest while maintaining a slow enough speed to not actually hit those. No one notices the door open and you're good to go. Obviously stay underneath these because you don't want to be, hit the lasers. And pretty much when you get to the next room, we're going to immediately head to the right and stay away. There's 2 guards that are in the next room, and they will not see you as long as you stay pretty much to the right. And even though I save here, thinking that, maybe I'll mess up the first time, but from here on out, I don't mess up at all. It's a lot more simpler than you might think as long as you take it slow and stick all the way to the right. You'll see that there's a turret that is coming back and forth on that little top thing there that you need to kind of pay attention to sometimes. But if you stay the route that I do, you're going to bypass all the guards that are right here, and none's the wiser. Make sure you land soft. Now, this is where you're going to get your bonus objectives. So not only do you need to plant the explosives, but you also need to use the computer. A note is that the computer will not set itself off if you mess up. Or should I say, if you don't do anything before the time expires. It's when you hit something and do the wrong one, that's when it'll mess up. So keep that in mind, as you can do this infinitely as long as you don't hit anything.
They say 60 seconds until it's away. Good thinking, Fisher.
Any line on what's going on in this place can only help.
Absolutely.
All right, so now we set the charges. Now you're going to go back the same way, go underneath that little area again, and then you'll be able to detonate at the last possible point. Once you do so, more guards are going to come into the area, so that's why you want to be down here when you do it. And you'll be able to bypass them all and then head to the last part of the mission, which is pretty easy.
Thank God, Fisher. That aborted the launch.
Yeah, but I think it woke up the neighbors.
Get through them, Fisher. Then bring in Otomo alive.
My pleasure.
As you can see, you're bypassing them all. And you're one stealthy stealthy Sam Fisher, aren't you? So go here, we're going to listen to a conversation, then we're going to head in and save him.
What have you done, American?
Give it up, Admiral. It's over.
You think that I will surrender to you? You think that I will allow your people to strip me of my dignity? Throw me in chains? No, I think not. My people have endured your charming oppression for more than 60 years.
You say tomato.
Americans, always turning to their jokes when their hearts are full of fear. And you should be afraid. I may be defeated, but I am a man, and my ideas are stronger than men. You may even prevent this war, American, but the dragon has awoken, and he will not be so easily sedated this time.
Now what?
I think someone is taking himself a bit too seriously.
We can't afford to let him die, Fisher. Get in there and stabilize him. Fast. Good work, Fisher. He's stable, but we still have to get him out of there. You're going to have to blast your way out.
We're over 100 feet underwater.
You're not pressurized, Fisher. It will be a shock, but you won't get the bends.
Next time, you're going on the mission and I'm making up the crazy plan.
And that's literally it. You just do this. You want to make sure you back up enough to not be, you know, hit by the blast or whatever, and you're 100% good to go, ladies and gents. You've just completed Splinter Cell Chaos Theory 100% the entire game. Congratulations. Especially with our challenging, or the way that we made it even more challenging than it normally is. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough, but let's check out how we did here at the very end.
Admiral Otomo, former head of the Japanese Information Self-Defense Force, made a surprise confession today on the witness stand at the Hague War Crimes trial. Otomo openly admitted conspiring to instigate war between the Koreas and the United States, claiming that In other news, China's ambassador to the United States, Long Dan, received the Nobel Peace Prize today for his efforts in defusing the Korean conflict. President Bowers today addressed the nation following the crisis that brought us to the brink of war.
Finally, I want to take a moment to thank those unsung heroes in the intelligence community.
who may very well have saved our nation and the world from certain disaster.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The boss seems happy. How about that raise?
They're cutting us back. You'll have to settle for a vacation.
Yeah, right.
As you'll see here, mission complete. Only one bonus objective. We do that towards the end, and there you go. Zero's down the line, 22 minutes, 7 seconds. We're going to click on overall, then we'll be able to get an overall summary of every single mission that we've done. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed. It's been my pleasure to bring the walkthrough to you guys. You're awesome. Be safe. Thanks again for watching. Moving on with Double Agent now, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Bitches.